What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more talk. And we're returning for the final track on Spirit of Eden, 1988. Once again, shout out to Stewart. And the final tune is Wealth. It speaks to an accumulation of valuable resources, in some cases actual currency, or even the precious metals that historically have undergirded economic systems. Maybe it is resources in a more material way, meaning energy resources, or even luxury items, or highly desirable jewels and metals like gold and silver, or so on, which are, of course, as I said, in some cases the basis of the currency on top of it, but in other cases they are just shiny objects that humans have valued for their luster and their visual appeal. But wealth can also be something like an amount. It is a wealth of knowledge. It is a wealth of experience, which would speak to accumulation, but on a more conceptual level and a more immaterial level. So any of these things might be possible. I will say Hollis's voice on this album, I've had a harder time catching some of the lines, so I don't know the degree to which I'll be able to hear the lyrics on a first listen, but I look forward to people's comments even if that is the case. Let's give it a listen. This is Talk. The track is Wealth, and it's the final tune on their 1988 album, Spirit of Eden. Often quiet at the beginning of the tracks on this album. Did I actually hit start? Oof. powerful and subtle end to the record at the same time. And an appropriate fade out. You know, people who follow this channel for a while know I have mixed feelings about fade outs, but I've come to accept that there are certain contexts in which it seems more appropriate, and the end of a record like this, and the end of a tune like this definitely seems to fit that bill. It felt like, and to try to condense my meaning to a single phrase, a folksy, jazzy, yet also cosmic church service. It felt like a minister speaking in an inspired way, but perhaps in an emotionally heavy setting, but the organ definitely gave it this church service type of feel, but there was that folksy guitar, but there was also a cosmic sound to the organ / keyboard work. There was a jazzy element to those little rolling lines on top of the big, heavier chords. And another tune on this album which has this minimalist meets melancholy type of atmosphere, although again with a streak of hope running through it. So I didn't catch all the lines. It sounds like he was saying, "Let my freedom up." I don't know if that was actually that line that came back a number of times, but I heard that better than most of the others, so I will again rely on folks who know the lyrics here, or certainly successive listenings, to see if I can get a better ear on some of them. But as I said, it felt like this, we're not in a good place, there's a heaviness, but perhaps the wealth relates to the freedom that is possible, or the experience and the feeling that are speaking through Hollis's voice. So yeah, these are all speculative and very conceptual impressions on a first listen. But nevertheless, even without hearing a lot of the lyrics on this album or in this song specifically, the vibe I get is a very powerful one. And as I said, it has subtlety and elegance even as it has scope and power at the same time. And that's not easy to do. You know, I talk about some classical tunes doing that. I talk about Sybient often doing that, and that's a genre that I hold very near and dear to my heart. So if technically a pop track can evoke that level of power but also elegance, I think they're doing something right, even if I don't actually know what's happening narratively or conceptually. So a very cool end to a very cool album, even if one that is well off of the beaten path and notably different than the albums I've heard from them before this. So once again, shout out to Stuart. Let me know what you think of this one, and I will see you next time. Peace.